Do it, bro.
Ivan. It's my boy Ivan Preciado. He flew up from LA area to shoot my very first podcast with me. Ivan, thank you so much for being here, dude.
Dude, no problem, man. Thank you for having me. Dude. Thank you for having me, man. This is awesome.
For sure, dude.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. Like I know you pretty well, but I don't necessarily know how you came up.
That's true. Actually, yeah, because Cameron introduced us. But we never talked about our war stories.
Not really, bits and pieces.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, it's so crazy.
So where'd you grow up?
So I grew up in San Bernardino, California. Both my parents are immigrants. My dad came from Mexico. My mom came from Korea. So we had, humble beginnings for sure. And it's just crazy, man, because I always felt like I was raised sort of right. I have good parents. They always, no matter how poor we were, there was always food in the fridge. The lights were always on. And I always had, the latest gaming thing or Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
I probably didn't get new shoes every month or anything, but, I got a new skateboard whenever the old one snapped, and I had to make that one last as long as I could. But it was, I feel like I was raised by good parents, but the area I was raised was crazy, bro.
Yeah, where in San Bernardino were you at?
Originally, I grew up, we called it the Heart. I think everyone probably, it's an old school term. Where are you from? Oh, I'm from the Heart,
Yeah.
It's kind of downtown. I actually grew up 2 blocks away from Valley College, where I now am an art professor. Which is crazy.
We'll get there.
Okay.
Can't get juicy too quick.
Okay. So, I grew up there. And, yeah, again, I always had a good family and good home, good upbringing. But the area I grew in, it was the stuff I would see. Dude, when I was 10 years old, I was outside playing basketball a normal Saturday. But I remember thinking, damn, this is a weird Saturday because it's quiet. In the hood, it's never quiet.
Yeah.
There's always someone working on their car, old Theos drinking beers, listening to music in their garage. There's always something.
Yeah.
This was a quiet Saturday. I was shooting basketball all by myself. Dude, I remember being 10 years old, and I saw, one of those rapist vans, big white van with no windows.
Like the one I drive?
Yeah. Dude,
oh, man.
One of those sped around the corner and all in one movement, slid open the door, threw a girl out, closed the door, and kept driving, bro.
Oh, shit.
It was all in one fluid. I remember being a kid, and when I saw it, it was oh shit, they've done that before. You can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Dude, I remember hearing an engine vroom, vroom, and I was where the fuck is that car coming from? Dump a girl out, kept driving. Dude, and the lady, she was laying there for a solid maybe 3 minutes on a hot afternoon. And I remember just thinking what the fuck, hot San Bernardino summer.
Yeah, it's in the hundreds.
Yeah, and she was just laying there. And then maybe 5-10 minutes later, maybe 7 minutes later, but those are long minutes.
Yeah.
Her family came out. Mom was screaming, "Oh my God, call the cops." They pick the girl up, they take her in the house. And I remember just thinking dude, it is not a good day to be outside alone.
Yeah, dude, what's going on? You're just an innocent kid. Did you ever figure out what happened to that girl?
I never did.
Shit.
And it's crazy because I was the only one out there that afternoon. I was the only one that saw everything. And that family knows because they saw me out there holding a basketball. I was the only kid that saw it.
They probably knew some hood shit was going down, and in the hood, snitches get stitches no matter if they're 10-year-old kid or if they're a grown-ass man. If you're doing some shit like that, you silence somebody, So those parents probably they protected you, even though it probably hurt their daughter or whoever that was,
Dude, because when I got older and I look back on that, I was that had to be something a kidnapping, asking for ransom. That was some heavy shit. And I remember just thinking, what the fuck did I just see?
Yeah, this is before Jackass and Johnny Knoxville running out in a straitjacket. This is you saw some real shit.
It was
at
crazy.
a young age.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was like growing up seeing stuff like that. I mean, I used to always see like kids running down the street, like running home. My cousins, because we were Asian, we would get picked on. My cousins would always have to fight and, walk home. So it was just always like, I don't know, early 90s, San Bernardino, wasn't a lot of Asians. So we always had to like, dude, I remember going to church and like, church was during session, it was church.
Yeah.
You go to youth group, praise. I was gonna say lecture, that's college, but sermon.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, but right when sermon was over, the youth group room, we would all close the doors, and then our big homie at the time would break out the boxing gloves. So my church was like
a little fight club.
it was a fight club, bro. It was church during the day, but right when sermon ended and like closed the doors, it's just all the kids. Bro, we brought out the gloves and everyone would fight. Like,
that's awesome.
It was pretty tight. Yeah.
We used to have a little fight club, at school or after school. We'd all meet up at the continuation school and like tuck in the hallways, and like this was before shit was like you could get away with stuff. There was no cell phones. I mean, we would play airsoft in the schools, like with gun, like real looking guns and shit. Like,
yeah.
Run around the hallways playing airsoft, and
it's crazy.
it was cool. We got to live in that era, but like,
mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like ass whoopings were getting handed out left and right when we were kids, and nowadays it ain't happening.
Dude, yeah.
So like, it was important to toughen up.
Dude, and I feel like when you think back on those days, now that you're a parent, are you like, yo, if my kid was going through that and I had no idea?
Shit, man, it scares me being a parent, thinking of all the dirt I was doing as a kid, as a teenager.
Dude,
like I got into hood shit at a young age. Like it wasn't much of a thing for me, Like you said, there wasn't a lot of Asians where you went to high school. No. My high school was 7% white. There was 131 kids that graduated with the last name Nguyen. It was like extremely Vietnamese, like a large Vietnamese population.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I lived in Little Saigon in Garden Grove.
Oh,
so I was right at these four corners of these schools, and I got like the poverty school, so it was like a lot of Latinos and a lot of like Asian, and then like the lower class white kids. So it was it was like a melting pot of like a lot of turmoil, a lot of trauma, a lot of gang violence, like kids rolling to school with guns. Like it was, like back then it seemed to be kind of a thing. Like you knew who was packing heat at school,
dude. I mean, it's crazy when I think about, because when I was in high school, my friends used to bring guns to school.
Yeah.
And show me, open the backpack, there'd be a loaded 9, right, or a 40, and you're just like,
yeah.
And we never got caught.
Never got caught. Never shot up to school either.
Yeah. And it was only because we had to walk home or he had to walk far after school. So it was like, and that's a hard place. Like it's like a hard rock, between a hard rock and the whatever.
Rock and a hard place.
Rock and a hard place. Because it's like, yo, I got this because I need to protect myself.
Yeah.
But even though I know, like, he took it from my dad's closet or something.
Whatever,
Yeah.
It's like, what's this for, Craig?
Yeah.
We used to fight with these.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
it ain't like that no more, bro. It's like, yeah. I think when my grandparents were kids, they were knife fighting and shit, like in the Outsiders.
Yeah, dude, the Outsiders.
Yeah, and then we're in school, and it's like, dude, kids are packing guns. Kids are selling drugs. Dude. There's drive-by shootings. Like,
Dude, it's crazy. And I feel like with the nowadays kids too, like, like the TikTok stuff.
You practice that shit?
No, I was like, and like they're always playing video games. Like a part of me does feel like, yo, you guys need to go play like street football.
Yeah.
Go in the street and play football and fall and scrape your knees. Like I used to do that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember when like, we don't gotta get too drawn on high school, but remember like a fist fight. Like if you had smoke with someone, it was like, at least where I was, it was like, all right, either you handle your shit right there, or we all meet somewhere and you beef in front of like all of his homies and all of your homies, and sometimes they turn into a big old squabble.
Dude.
Sometimes you walk away shaking hands and but now I don't see, there seems to be like no honor anymore or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you see kids getting bullied and picked on and jumped, and it's just sad, man. It's sad.
Yeah, I think
Times
so.
have changed.
Social media has made kids like socially not socialized.
Yeah.
So they're not growing up with like that real human connection.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so yeah, so I grew up, super humble beginnings, Korean mom, Mexican dad, um, and I always, I had to do stuff, but it was never like for bad like never for like, oh, I want to hurt someone or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
It was always just like, dang, like when I was in college, I used to like, and this is even a bad thing, but it was like I used to lie to my mom. I lived an hour away from the college, so I used to lie to my mom and say that I was sleeping over at my friend's house, and then I would lie to my friend and tell him I'm going home, and then I would sleep in the university parking lot in my car,
Oh man.
and I would sneak into the dorms to shower and everything. Really, it was kind of fun. Like on one end, I'm the kind of guy where I'm like, it felt like I was kind of like a
Sneaky?
spy.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
sneaking around.
I could go in and out of places without anyone noticing. And sometimes, I mean, I could just be, when you come from the hood, I feel like you get sleight of hand or silver tongue. You get certain skill sets that are like, I could just talk to anyone, convince them I was in the dorm. I just forgot my key, bro.
Yeah.
Can you let me in real quick?
Yeah.
And they let me in. Like,
Because you're this little innocent Asian boy, dude.
Exactly.
You know?
No, bro, exactly.
Got that Asian privilege.
Dude, yeah. And that's why, like, I don't promote it a lot and I don't show it, but on your platform I'll totally like. That's why, like, I'm super tatted and everything, but like I keep it all under the shirt, and I'll tell any youngins out there, like, even someone for me that's like blasted, like I know I will sort of judge people if they're like on their face and stuff. So I'll always tell youngins like, yo, like get blasted, but do it like under the shirt and shorts, because when you go into a corporate office and you got to meet with the CEO or something, like I've had to do, when you come from the hood, the streets, and now you're in the suites,
dude, or even in the streets, man. Like you never know who's judging. I had dude, something happened to me a couple months ago that like really fucked me up, man. I was having a bad day. I was like arguing with Kim, my wife, about some shit. And, I took off on a drive and I was just fired up, and I stopped at the gas station to get gas, and I roll in to pay for my gas, and there's this dude in there, and he's hood, you know what I mean? He's all hood, and he's buying a knife.
Damn.
And in my head, I'm like, this motherfucker is gonna go rob. I'm painting this picture about this dude, like he probably just got out of prison. He's gonna go rob somebody. He's a fucking shitbag, this and that. And I'm like painting this picture of this dude just being a real piece of shit. And I'm fired up, like
for sure.
And I go outside. Oh man, and the dude's out there with his wife, and he's got 3 beautiful kids.
Ah,
bro,
what?
And I'm just like, man, like he's no different than me. Like he just needed a pocket knife, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he was tatted. He wore that picture, and look at like I'm tatted from the hood, and I'm judging this fool on how he looked, and I couldn't have been more wrong. Like he was out there with a beautiful family to protect.
Yeah.
No,
for sure, dude. And it's not right of us, but I feel like we're human. Dude, a similar story. I was just in Vegas. I was getting an Uber around everywhere, and this homegirl walks in. She's a sister. She's all tatted. She's all drowsy, like stumbling in, and I'm totally judging her. Like, man, like what are you on? Like you on Oxycontin, you on lean. Like in my head, I'm this kind of like POS. Like because she was falling over, leaning on me. Yeah. And then I start talking to her, and she's like, I have epilepsy. So I have a lot of seizures all the time. So she takes medication. And I also think those probably some recreational drugs.
Could be. Some good weed.
Yeah. And I even, so once I talked to her, I'm like, oh, you have epilepsy and you have like, chronic seizures? And I was like, can I pray for you? Like, do you mind if and I always ask for permission first.
Yeah.
Because I want to see if they accept it or not. She says, yeah. So I pray for her, and then me and the Uber driver start talking. And right away, the first thing he said was like, oh, dude, I totally thought that girl was a junkie.
Yeah.
And he was like, but hearing you guys talk and knowing that she has seizures, like, it's easy to judge people and not know the real pain and trauma they go through.
Never know, man.
I would never... I totally thought this girl was a piece of shit.
Imagine how many people think that about her on the daily who don't humble themselves to like take a step back and look at like the real picture, get to know somebody, just a conversation. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're fucked up. We're jaded. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we work on it. It's a daily thing
Mhm.
to not be judgmental towards others. And some people
Yup.
you can just look at and be like, yo, that guy's a shitbag.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like
Yeah.
So it's like it's a fine line of like, especially when you grow up kind of like in the rah-rah, it's like you kind of have like these defense mechanisms that fight or flight is kind of always up. Like,
Dude, yeah.
you've been in so many situations that you never know when something's going to pop off or who's going to take advantage of you or whatever.
Dude, yeah.
When do you? So you're a graffiti artist.
Yes.
That's kind of how we got introduced, like through our friend Cameron, who's a pretty well-known graffiti artist.
Yeah. So I got into graph through my older brother. I think just like all younger brothers, I wanted to be just like my older brother, bro. Like I wanted to walk like him, talk like him. I wanted to do my hair like everything he got into, I got into. Skateboarding, I got into it. Graffiti. It's like I got into it right away, and then we both still to this day have like a love for graffiti. We still do it, but I like took my own path with it. Went my own way. I really started branching out when I started like going away from graffiti and start doing like faces and flowers and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Get in touch with your feminine side.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where it takes off. Like Cameron was doing bombs forever, like with GG Crew and stuff, and then he kind of like started doing this different thing and incorporating beauty into the shit of the city. Instead of just tagging words, he started tagging birds and butterflies and murals and dude, and all of a sudden this graffiti world kind of like he's, as much as I don't know if he is like a what do you call it, like one of the pioneers of that style of graffiti, to where now I see it like everywhere, or if he kind of, I don't know if he has his own style or what, but that's how we met through Cameron.
Yep.
And you seem to kind of have taken a similar path of like getting away from doing street art to incorporating, like more beauty into it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like, so, the way I was raised, again, I was always raised in a good home, just bad, rough area, but I always like knew what I wanted to do. I love doing graffiti. And so at 18, it was like a random like email. I sent like a portfolio to. I ended up getting on this TV show. I meet Cameron. I help him win like $100,000 national TV. He becomes like my best friend. We start traveling the world, going to Australia, New Zealand. You were supposed to go to that trip. Yeah. I mean, it was fun, but you didn't miss out on much. Like,
I don't know what I was doing. I was probably having some kind of other fun.
Solid. But I started noticing, like, all right, if I really want to make it in this art game, in this art world, like, I got to do something different, I could paint a flower, but so can the next 5 guys,
Yeah.
So BuzzFeed hit me up. I got I did the TV show thing. That alone was like
that was your lucky break.
That was my big break.
Yeah. And
all throughout my life, I feel like because I always kept like a pure heart. I always tried to be like a good person, and and I was raised super Christian, but I always just believed in being a good person. Helping, still to this day, I help an old lady on a bus, help someone with their groceries. Like, it's just, I'm young, I could do. It's just the right thing to do. It's not to do for brownie points, right?
Yeah.
But then I was like, all right, if I want to make it in this art world, I got to do something different. So then that's when BuzzFeed hit me up, and they're like, do you want to do VR graffiti? I was like, what the hell? Like, what's that? Like, VR? They're like, oh, it's virtual reality. It's like a video game, but it's graffiti. Would you like to be like the first person on our platform doing this? I was like, oh, hell yeah, like right away.
The first person, huh?
The first, graffiti artist doing virtual reality, like on that BuzzFeed like platform.
That's what's up.
So I do that. It gets like 1 million views in like 3 days. I end up doing like 3 episodes, I think. 3 episodes with BuzzFeed. That gives me like a whole second wave of, the TV show was one thing. A few years later, this BuzzFeed thing. I pretty much get dubbed like the VR graffiti guy all around the world. I start my own channel. And then right away, I mean, now, I mean, I'm at like 15,000 subs.
That's good,
You're
man.
probably going to be
Yeah, we'll
way
see.
past.
We'll see, man. We'll see. I don't know if anybody wants to see this mug.
So
Is that camera going? Can you tell?
it's still going.
All right, we'll have to chop that, or maybe not. This is
Yeah.
our first podcast, so this is all like, I mean, we've got, anyways.
No, yeah. Yeah, it's still going though.
Cool. I'm just gonna keep an eye on that one.
No, for sure.
So you're the VR guy, dude.
I'm the VR guy.
Dude.
It was so crazy because, you know, I went from being in the streets all the time, dealing with sketchy people in sketchy areas, you know, freeway underpasses, graffiti, train yards, to just hanging out in my bedroom. And now I'm inspiring people all around the globe through like YouTube and like VR. So it was like another thing that like I feel like when you persevere and like you chase it sounds corny, but like when you chase your dreams, like, bro, it happens. Like, it comes true.
I think if you chase your dreams with integrity, it happens. I know so many
like
people chasing their dreams and they just live a shit life and they want all these things and they're just takers, you know what I mean? And they're not people who are generous with their time and their wisdom, and they just take. And I just watch them forever chase their dreams. And then I watch people like you or, you know, other folks that we know that are just genuinely good people, and they catch break after break after break. I mean, you got the VR thing. You had the what was the first big graffiti mural you did was for Brisk Iced Tea?
Yep.
You know, I remember that one.
Brisk Iced Tea.
And then you kind of took off like from there.
After the because BuzzFeed dubbed me the VR guy, Facebook hit me up. Dude, I bought my first house with that check. Like break after break. It was crazy. Like the TV show. But then actually, you know, there's tough times too. Like after the TV show, I remember 2 months went by where like my phone wasn't ringing anymore. And my mom and dad were kind of like, damn, you know, like you were on this run.
Yeah.
And they were like, do you want to go back to school, to college? And I was like, hell no. You know, I was like, I'm famous now.
Yeah,
like, I'm on TV. I'm like getting these corporate checks.
You're pink elephant in it, dude.
Dude, I was totally. And then the third month comes around, and I'm like, damn, my phone hasn't rang for like 3 months straight, you know? And if these phone calls and checks stop coming through, like, I'm going to need a backup plan, you know? So I went to school, double majored, so I got 2 bachelors at once. At the same time I was finishing my second bachelor's, I was starting my master's. So I was going to 2 schools at the same time and doing 2 different programs.
And still doing hood rat shit, dude. Don't let him fool you. He ain't just this nice guy. I mean, this fool's like slanging machine guns and shit, dude.
So that was like the... So that was the kind of guy I was, though. It was like, dude, literally, God as my witness. I know we can't call him into court, but FAFSA called me into the office. Hey, financial aid.
What is FAFSA?
FAFSA is financial aid.
Okay.
So they're like, your financial aid hasn't came through, so you can't register for next quarter's classes. And I was like, shit, well, how much do I need? It was, at the time, it was like $1,300. Dude, I'm 20, I'm like 18, 19 years old. I don't have a job. My parents are broke. How am I going to come up with $1,300? And that's what you could be.
Rambo over here.
And that's what's weird. Like, and that's why I want to have this conversation with you. Like, do you think like God will sometimes put you in a tough position, but will provide a way out of that position? But it's something that's also not like, so, all right, go ahead, or.
No, dude, like, yeah. And I mean, I was running, doing some very illegal stuff with some very illegal organized people.
Yeah.
And
allegedly,
yeah, this is all alleged. And I remember one day I was going to Mexico and they're like, hey, take this bag over the border. It's $1 million in cash.
Damn.
And he's like, I'll give you 10 grand. And I'm like, oh, that's 1%. He's like, okay, 20. And I was like, nah, dude. So he's like, all up to 30 G's to take this bag.
Damn.
And I was like, yo, like, what happens if I don't make it?
Shit.
And he's like, that was the answer I got. I was like,
Oh,
and
man.
the people who I was, working with, the outcome of anything could go wrong. I'm putting my family at risk. But like 30 racks, dude, when I'm already going to Mexico to drive over the border, and I just, dude, it was so hard for me to say no. Bro, I said no. I was like, no, can't do it. Sorry. Thanks for the offer. No. And I went down to Mexico. I got like 5 miles from my trailer. My buggy blew the motor.
Shit.
So I was in Tecate for like less than 2 hours. And when I came back across the border, it was suspect. You know, I was like there. I blew my motor, loaded back up, had some tacos, came home.
Yeah.
And, you know, there I got searched and I probably would have got rolled.
Oh, so it's a good thing.
So it was a good thing. I said no, but it was hard. You know, it was a really hard no because, like, dude, I'm young. I got a, you know, I didn't have a family yet, but dude, I'm young. I want money. I was money hungry. I was selling guns and ammo, and I wanted money. But to take that next step, when I'm selling them weapons, I'm selling them my shit.
Okay.
When I'm taking $1 million in cash, that's their shit. Like,
yeah.
Like if that goes missing, I'm bad. But the point was like, God gave me a way out of that, or what, you know, and it was a hard choice to make. But look at where I'm at now. Yeah. If I made an easy 30 racks going to Mexico and back, like I was only 2 hours from the border.
Yeah.
Who knows what that would have turned into, you know?
You wouldn't be at home with your wife and 2 kids.
Hell no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that lifestyle is blood in, blood out.
Yeah.
You know, and it escalated bad. Like there was gunfighting and just bad stuff. And I didn't make any enemies in that group, but it's a part of my life that I rarely will talk about, and I don't really associate with any. I don't associate with any of those fools from my life.
Heck no.
That's long gone, and hopefully they ain't on YouTube.
Probably not.
So yeah, man, you get approached with like these hard choices, you know.
And that's where I feel like God challenges His chosen ones, or like the strong ones. You know, all of us. You know, because it's the same thing. You know. Hey, you have a $1,300 bill, you can't continue school.
So how'd you get the $1,300?
So it's just like, it's weird how God, or whatever, life just happens. It was like, well, I know where to get unmarked custom-made guns. I know people that want unmarked custom-made guns. So it was like, I could go make that $1,500. It was like, when do you need that by? Oh, you got, 2 weeks, or,
It was like, easy.
Bro, I could go get that to you tomorrow. I'll be back. I literally, that day, I don't know if I ever told you this, allegedly, I had went, picked up a piece, something, illegal.
For me?
Well, no, actually, it's technically not illegal, though.
I mean, I don't know. I ain't asking questions. I ain't the ETF.
Yeah. It's technically,
I purposely don't know my gun laws just so I can maybe play dumb, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know.
Yeah.
100-round drum, dude? That's illegal?
Yeah. All right. No, but it was like, I could go pick this up here for $700. It wasn't drugs, so I could say that's the honest truth. It wasn't drugs. I could go sell it for twice the amount and make
car parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made $800, $1,500, $800 profit. Within the matter of 4 hours. And where we come from in the hood, it's like,
it's easy money.
It's easy money.
Hood rich.
That's like, it's scary, because I always tell people too, I'm always like, we got millionaires in the hood too, like,
yeah,
they might not be.
Dude, I had boys driving up in like brand new i8s and like custom like $200,000 choppers, and every day a different hot rod, the fucking RTs, and like, it's crazy. And you look at them and they just look like they're hood kids, bro, but they're rich.
Dude. Yeah. And then, so I was the kind of student, the kind of guy that was like, all right, I was raised right, I'm in this bad area, but if I want to continue school, well, I got to just pay that bill. I know where to get the money. I'll get that bill paid, and then I registered for next semester's classes. Just kept it pushing.
Yeah.
But it was it's tough though, like that perseverance to like choose like your integrity. I knew what I was doing, but I knew that I was a good person doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
So I always felt like God would protect me then. Like God would understand then, you know?
Yeah, but what do you want to do? You know what I mean? You want to
Yeah.
you want to feel good about it, or do you want to like seek forgiveness for some shit that you knew was a little edgy? Dude, I had to move 600 miles and sell my property, which was an income property, and like it was like my
Dang.
retirement plan, because I knew that if I stayed there another day, I was gonna go full on homicidal maniac, dude, and clean house. And it came so close to the point where I was like, I'm dancing with the devil, dude, and like the only way out of this is either to move or like buck up and go fucking kill everybody.
Dude.
You know what I mean? So I just
Yup.
packed up my shit and I moved, and I never looked back. I haven't sold another gun in the last like 6 years. I haven't fucked around with anybody like that.
That's good.
Dude, I got rid of all my illegal shit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's been a struggle, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Like I was making money on my property. It was an income place. I had 2 houses. My rent was paid. I sold my water to the dudes next door to grow dope. I rented the back house. My bills were paid, and I was like $2,200 a month positive. But I was like, this isn't the life that I want to live. This isn't what I struggled my whole fucking life to continue to struggle this way. And
Yeah.
I moved here, and it's been a journey, bro. It's been a journey, but it's been so rewarding, you know, like it's paying off. I got 2 kids now, like a beautiful wife. We've been together 20 years, like, and no more rah-rah shit, dude. Like we're doing, I ain't even been in a fist fight in like 5 years, you know?
Awesome. Yeah.
Like I don't even know if I still got it.
Yeah. Dude, no, and like, man, it's so crazy because like I had a similar, dude, when you're talking about cleaning house, like when I went through what I went through with my brother, when I had to go to Texas and find him. Have you seen that movie?
No, I don't even know what happened with your brother.
He got super into he got real bad into meth. Yeah, like he had 1 year on and off with meth, and then the second year was like hard. And then I think by the start of the 3rd year, I had to go and like kicking down doors at meth houses, like wearing ski with my big cousin and shit, looking for my brother, and I found his ass.
Oh man!
And we brought his ass home, but it hurt me a lot, dude, because like I said earlier in this podcast, like dude, he was my hero. Like I wanted to be just like him.
Yeah.
And then to see like how skinny he got. You know, you see him picking at his face, talking to himself. You know, it was just, dude, he said things to me that are like, so, you know, he was so methed out.
Dude, just straight vile, bro. Like the meanest shit ever. My brother was a meth addict too. He died in September from a meth and fentanyl overdose. So dude, it's like, I know that life, bro. It's nasty.
And what's crazy is like where we come from, like the gutter, you know, like the trenches. Now, when I see like you and your family like going to church, like dressed preppy, I'm like, I fucking love that, dude. Yeah. Like I love it. I'm like, look at Paul like in a tie. And
you'd never think I was a fool in church packing heat, dude.
dude. And so I wanted to ask you.
I'm just in the back rows, like, all right,
dude. And I wanted to ask you, like, I remember there was when we first met. I think you were like pushing weight. But you were like taking the youth group kids out to surf and snowboard.
Yeah, I was living a double life, dude.
That's dope.
I guess. Yeah. I was like, it was weird, man, because I was like running this like not big, but like a decent sized weed grow, you know, indoor.
Yeah.
And I was at school working at a continuation school as like a counselor. And, dude, I was like punking kids for their weed at school, like taking their weed and being like, you can't do this. This is school. Like, what are you guys doing? And then I go home and like water my garden.
That's good. Yeah.
And then a couple times like I'd bust kids with weed that they got from a dispensary. That was my fucking weed, you know? And I'm like, dude, like, so I just like, I decided that double life wasn't worth it anymore. So
it's weird. Living that double life.
Yeah.
Because I had that with graffiti. It was like I'd be in church singing and everything, once I go home that Sunday night, I'm going out bombing.
Yeah.
You know, like it was like.
Yeah, and that, but you know, graffiti, you're not really causing anybody to stumble, you know. And with my weed thing, like, I felt like, on one hand, I was doing all this honorable shit. Like, I was taking kids out surfing, getting them out of the streets, you know, taking and feeding homeless people on Skid Row and doing all this cool shit. But then I'm like this hypocrite that's telling them, you know, not to smoke weed, and I'm taking their shit and I'm giving them lectures on whatever. And I just felt like it just was like this. It wasn't for me no more. So I hung up the hat on growing weed. And
when it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel right. You know, like when you got to have like, I don't know, the way I say it is like you got to know your center and like your core, and you got to be on that straight path. And it's just crazy like where we come from, because when I went through with my brother, I had the same thing, dude. Have you seen that movie Boondock Saints?
Yeah.
I wanted to do stuff like that, dude.
When you see that real evil and you're like, man, this shit, it needs to be eradicated, you know?
Bro, I literally felt like, I remember calling my homie, and it was just like exactly like that movie. It was like, dude, we know where all the drug dealers live. We know where the prostitutes, you know, the pimps hang out. Like, why don't we just do the cops' job? And police ain't doing that.
That's basically what they told me when I had an incident at my house. Like, I had these two dudes pinned down at gunpoint. They were trying to rob my shit.
Yeah.
And I had them pinned down at gunpoint. And my boy was like, I had to like beg him not to kill these two guys. Like, he's like, let me blow him up, P. Let me blow him up. He's like this homie from Indianapolis who like seen some shit. Like he's a killer, you know.
Oh shit.
And I'm like, no, bro, you can't do this. Like please, like I got a normal life that I live.
Yeah.
Outside of all this, you know, this guerrilla shit that we do in the mountains, dude. Like, and I held these fools at gunpoint for like. On the phone with sheriff, you know. All right, we're on our way. Hung up the phone. 10 minutes passed. 30 minutes passed. Hour passed. My buddy's like, "Yo, let's torture him. Like, let's do this. Let's do that." I'm like, "Nah, dude. Like, no."
Yeah.
And so I let him go. I dumped I fired a couple rounds off at him when I found him busted into my house, and I'd let whatever I had go left, like into the side of their truck, and then sent them on their way. And the cops showed up at my house like 6.5 hours later.
Oh my God.
And Kimmy had been home from work at this point. We're standing outside. I'm like telling her what's going on. And the sheriffs roll up. And the first thing he says, he's like, "Oh, you should have just shot him."
What the hell?
He's like, "That's the Lynn Scott family. You know, each one of them's been shot or stabbed at least once." Like, and he's like, "One of these days, someone's going to come out here and they're going to take care of all these people, and all we're going to do is clean it up because we don't have the resources." He's like, "You should move."
Damn.
So he basically gave me the green light to go ahead and like
murk these
fools if I want, or bounce. And you know, I really thought about it. I'm like, this is my investment. I bought this house for $170,000.
Dude.
Bro, it was worth like $450-ish when I sold it, and now it's worth like over $7.
Dude,
it was fucking hard for me to pack my shit and move away from there, dude. It sucked.
I didn't know you had 13 acres too.
Yeah, it was a nice piece of land.
It's a nice little compound. You could have.
Enough with the fucking hood rat stuff.
Yeah.
So now, like,
it turned off, by the way.
Did it?
And that's why I kind of actually like your platform, because I'm like, I've never been able to talk about this kind of stuff, and I want the people that look up to me to know, like, yo, I come from the same streets as you. I come from the same gutters. Like, anything you could think of, I've already been through it, you know, like, and look how I still was able to turn my life around, go to school, get a great corporate job. I bought my first house when I was 25. I'm looking to buy my new property now. I'm now 28, buy my second income property. So, I want people to know, like, yo, you could come from San Bernardino, immigrant parents, still turn your life around and be a straight shooter if you want to do it, though. Like, if you put in the
Ain't
work.
nobody gonna like pick somebody up and make them do anything. You know, you can lead a ass to water, but he's still an ass. You know, it's like.
And my whole life too, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think where we come from, I always wished someone would come around handing out money, but I never liked handouts. I never took handouts. Anytime you did, I kind of did take a free thing. It always came back.
For sure, especially
Yeah.
especially in the hood, bro.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing favors in the hood. It's like,
Nothing's
yeah, I
free.
learned
Yeah.
that. Like, never.
Yeah.
You know, someone tried to give you anything, it's like, nah, I'll pay you. I
Dude.
ain't owing you favors, especially when they're doing more dirt than you. You never know what that motherfucker's gonna ask for.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
so now, like,
Yeah.
so we got a little sidetracked with all the gun stuff. So you're a professor now. So you got your break. You double majored. You got 2 bachelor's degrees.
Yep. Yeah.
What are your majors?
So I got my first one is a bachelor's in graphic design.
Yeah.
Or a bachelor's in advertising. Second one's the graphic design. I got a master's in business with a focus in marketing, and I'm currently in school getting my second master's, an MFA in design thinking.
God, you're patched up.
Bro, I'm all patched up. I got so what made it, like, what really, like, sealed the deal too with becoming a professor was that I ran my own business. You know, I ran my own business. I had all the education. I ran my own business for a long time with clients like Brisk Iced Tea, Red Bull, Facebook, and then I had the corporate experience, 4 years of corporate experience. Dude, and in the corporate life, like, I saw it all there too. You know, like, literally just like what we're talking about, like, these kids grew up in Beverly Hills and became architects. Well, they cheat on their wives with strippers and and have cocaine problems. You know, it's like, whether you're in the hood or even in the rich areas, like,
Everybody's got problems.
Yeah.
Dude. More money, more problems.
I agree, bro.
You know?
Some
people are so poor, all they have is money.
Yeah.
You know, it's
damn.
like,
That's a good
you
one.
know, I'm like over here penny pinching right now, dude, trying to make a change, and I'm the happiest, luckiest, most blessed guy on the block, dude.
Dude.
You know, my bank account don't show it,
No,
but
for sure.
but you know what? Everything else does, and that to me is rich.
Dude, when I see, like, when I'm at your property, dude, and I see like the stream, I see everything, like your wife and kids, I'm like, fuck, this is dope.
That's
Like,
what's up, you know?
dude, I love it. Like, I envy you. I'm like, damn, I want that one day. Like,
Yeah, some days I envy you, and I'm like, God, my wife's hounding me. I'm like, yo, man.
you need a
be
20-year-old.
single.
Yeah.
No. I just live a single bachelor life.
Yeah.
No, I'm super blessed, bro. I'm super blessed. So, yeah, it's nice to be admired, you know?
Yeah.
For sure, and appreciated. So are you
And that-
still doing graffiti outside of, like, doing your professor work?
Not really. Like, now that and that's what I wanted to be, was like how you're saying, like, admired and like it feels good. So that's what led me into teaching, was because I wanted to, like, inspire, motivate, and educate, like, the next generation. Like people say, it's funny. I always catch myself saying, like, corny things, but it's so real. Now that I'm older, I'm approaching 30.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, it's real. Like, it's true.
It's
you know,
crazy.
The best things in life, you know, don't cost money. You know, and
Yeah.
all you need is, like, family and friends.
And when everything your elders start telling you is going to happen starts happening, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh, man. You're like, dang, I find myself being that guy, like, talking to my nephews and stuff or nieces, like, you better be careful. This is going to happen. And I'm like, you didn't want to hear it when you were 16. They don't want to hear it now, you know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I don't work with kids anymore. I work, you know, with my coaching, I work with adult clients because...
Yeah.
You know, they're more ready. Like, with the kids, like, the change comes years down the road. You know what I
That's
mean? Like, I
yeah.
felt like when I was working with the youth, I had some really hard hits. Like, they were hard to inspire, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I had one kid got murdered, another one got caught a life sentence, and then a couple of suicides, like, all in a real close, you know, proximity to each other, a real close timeline. And I felt like, oh, dude, I'm failing. Like, what am I doing? So I kind of pulled out for that. And, but then you start seeing the reward later down the road. Your fruits start to, you know, come to bloom and blossom. And I get the phone calls like, yo, Paul, like, I know it's been 9 years, but you changed my life. Like, here's a picture of my daughter, you know, or like, I was a street girl and now I have a family of my own and I wear clothes that are not revealing. And, you know, and my
Yeah.
body's for my husband now, and
That's dope.
and you see all this stuff way down the line, you know. And
yeah.
you know, like with adults, the change, like when someone comes to you, it's like they're coming to you because they're more often than not, like they're desperate. They're at their last like rope.
Yeah.
And then like the impact is like, you know, some people I can't help, you know, but some people start making change right away.
It's instant.
It's not instant, but like they start putting in the work right away to where like working with a teenager, fuck, dude, you're talking to a wall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
So, you know, like when people come to you seeking advice, like when they're in school, like they're there to learn, you know, they're there to be taught.
Yeah. And that's why, my bad, I didn't answer your question, but going back
I probably interrupted you, that's why.
Oh, you're all good. And that's why I actually stopped doing, as much as I hate to say it because it hurts to say it, but that's why I stopped doing illegal graffiti. Because as soon as I got the professor job, I was like, all right, got to cut the old life out. Like, no more messing around. I can't be in the streets, you know? Like, I got to be in these classrooms, like, inspiring. And I've already been there, done that. I have pictures to prove it to, like, the graffiti kids that want to know if I'm real or something.
Yeah.
So, no, illegal graffiti, I love it. I wish I could do it more, but...
What about, so you just did a job in Vegas. I saw that was, you know, bombed up beside a liquor store.
Yeah, that was another one that I think helped me got hired at the college because I was like, you know, not only do I have the degrees behind me, I run my own design firm, design and mural firm. I just did a job for Coca-Cola, and I showed them, so I just finished that. That was just last month, so that was super recent. It was my second attempt at realism ever, and Cameron and a few people hit me up, and you know, super impressed because realism, you know, it's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
I've always had like a skateboard graphic.
Who's this boy, Phasm?
Phasm.
Dude, that guy is fire, bro. Like, but black and gray murals, I think that's who does the black and gray mural work.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Dude, it's amazing.
Yep.
And those are the people who like you came up looking up to, you know?
Yeah. Like I grew up, you know, looking up to a bunch of people. Phasm and Cameron, I texted them. Like I could show you. I made a group chat with just us three, and I was like, guys, this is like my new mural. It's realism. It's my second attempt ever. And having them tell me like, yo, this is pretty solid. Like, your second attempt ever, like, this is really good. It's really solid. Keep going.
It's nice when you have those cheerleaders, dude.
Yeah.
You know, I see this all the time with like my little brothers. They're like, they get so caught up with the naysayers, you know. But I'm like, these naysayers, like, what are they doing? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Are they bomb ass artists talking shit on you? No. Exactly. But when you got bomb ass artists building you up and beefing you up and helping you, like, not build your ego but your confidence, you know?
Yeah.
Like, dude, that's like amazing when you have people who you look up to, like, supporting your vision and cheering you on and even giving you constructive criticism in a good way.
Oh, for sure.
Dude, there's nothing more valuable than that.
Dude, honestly, now that I'm older, because the whole naysayer, now that I'm older, I don't even like compliments. Like, I'm like, no, tell me what's wrong with it, you know? Yeah. But when it comes from your heroes, you're kind of like, like that felt good, you know? Mm-hmm. But they were even saying things like, yo, this is solid, you know, really good, but just remember to always look at your reference image more. And, you know, they're always, like, giving me some advice. Yeah. But I think it's important for everyone. Like, you got to stay open to that. Like,
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I always keep my eyes and ears open, you know?
Yeah. Do you ever feel like an imposter, like you don't belong in that work, in that, like, up at that top dog level in the art world?
No, well, I don't even think I'm a top dog. Like, people, like, will tell me, and, like, that's cool. I've only felt like an imposter when,
You got your professor job?
No. Yeah, right? I'm like, what am I doing up here? No.
Did you drug test?
Yeah. No, I've had that imposter syndrome before, but it was with something else, and I kind of forget what it was, but it was when I was kind of living like a double life. That's when I remember having imposter syndrome, because I was talking about it with Cameron. This is years ago now, though. I don't really remember, but it was and I remember like that imposter syndrome, like how I got over it was just like, well, if something inside me is telling me I'm not being true to myself and like the people around me, then that's a sign to me like I gotta fix something about myself. Throw that to the side and fix something about myself. And that's what I did at the time. And
but then you fit in for being you, you know, and you're not
exactly.
like you're not being an imposter. You're being you. You're being real.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like I'm being real, and I've stepped into a new career, you know, of like coaching people with PTSD and like severe trauma. And like yesterday, I was, you know, on a coaching call with a dude, and I knew he was a photographer, and I knew he was a personal development coach.
Oh, yeah.
And then I asked him, like, okay, what are your clients like? And he coaches the top 1%.
Yeah.
And they're paying like $160K a month for coaching.
So
and I'm working with this guy on some stuff.
You're coaching him.
Yeah. And I'm like, and when he told me that, I'm like, yeah, like, what am I doing? Like, I'm going to bomb this, bro. You know what I mean? And I'm like caught off guard, like in the middle of a call. And I'm like in my head, and I'm like, yo, just get out of your headspace, dude. Get out of your headspace, dude. It's crazy. And then it turns out like our lives weren't that different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was. I was meant to be where I was, and I'm not an imposter at all. And my life, the way I came up, was able to help this person in a very specific way.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I'm totally 100% like right where I'm supposed to be.
You see, that's
you know?
dope.
And
That's what's dope.
Yeah, and it's like full circle. Like I can't really get into detail about it, but like basically he worked in the environment that I grew up in, which was group homes. So he was like not traumatized, but had some after effects of the way he was like required to treat kids in this group home setting. Yeah. Here I am, the group home kid, coaching this man through this, and got to offer him forgiveness, dude. I was like, from a 10-year-old Paul, like, I forgive you, you know what I mean? And dude, it was powerful, bro. But that came at like hour 5 of our call, like finding out he was a coach for like the top dogs, like these elite 1%ers. That was like 15 minutes in. Wow. And I went this whole thing to find out like really we're not that much different.
You and him, it's sort of like your whole lives were in the same industry.
And his trauma was healing to me because I got to offer forgiveness to somebody who I felt like was a perpetrator to me.
For sure.
And he learned healing from me because I was that kid who offered him that forgiveness. It was crazy, bro. It was full circle, dude.
Stuff like that is like, oh, dude, it's so deep, like powerful. And I feel like, dude, that's God, the master planner, like the timing and everything. It's
you
like,
can't deny it, dude. It's like I posted a video the other day of like I don't have a reason not to believe in God. So I just keep on rolling, you know what I mean? Like I just keep going. Yeah. So on this God topic, during your trip to Vegas where you painted that mural, you posted some cute little picture while you were in the ER with no caption, just a wristband.
It was literally like this perspective. It was just my wristband and my foot.
It was a cry for help.
And it was literally just like, and I never post like super personal stuff.
Never, dude.
It's always just my art, like just my drawings, my graffiti. And then my phone goes bananas, dude. Like literally bing, 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 like 200 like text messages, Instagram messages, phone calls.
You realize how important that caption is, huh?
Dude, yeah. Yeah. I posted it on like my stories. But what happened was, I was in Vegas for like a month working on murals everywhere, and it's super hot. I'm a Cali boy. If you go into the Vegas heat for like a month, dude, without knowing it,
turn into a raisin.
Yeah, dude. And like I don't know why this happened, but I know to drink Gatorade and Pedialyte, like electrolytes. I know that. But for some reason during that month, I only drank water, thinking I was helping myself, but I was basically like sweating out all my salt.
You just depleted all your nutrient.
Yeah. So I end up...
And you're huffing paint the whole time, too.
And it's, you know...
Do you wear a respirator when you paint? It's hard when it's hot.
That's the thing. My homie out there, who's like my brother, he was like, dude, wear a respirator. And I was like, oh, we're outdoors. Like, I don't, you know. And it's hot out here, so I'm like, dude, that on my face, it's just going to feel all nasty when I'm sweating. Dude, so basically for a month straight, I like drowned myself without knowing it until the point where I knew...
Were you going out for drinks and shit after working, or like hitting the casinos, just normal life and just working?
I don't even drink anymore. Yeah. Like, honestly, I don't even like consider myself like a stoner anymore either. Like, I don't even. So no, man. Like, we're totally like, my homie's a grown man. He's got 2 kids, 14-year-old and a 11-year-old. Like, they're like my.
So you guys are business. You're there to paint.
We're all business.
You're Michelangeloing it up around Vegas.
Yeah, for sure. And not even fooling around, not party life, not anymore. You know, I'm approaching 30, so freaking...
Shit, 30 didn't stop me. I was just getting warmed up at 30, bro.
So, and the whole time, I knew inside, like, you always know, like, when your body's like, oh, I need a little bit more sleep, but we got to get up this morning, and you got to finish this elementary school. I need a little bit more food, but shit, we got to get this done, so I'll finish this later. You know, and I came home for Mother's Day. Had to come home for Mother's Day. Brought Mom the flowers. Made the Mother's Day weekend getaway. Even my parents knew, like my family knew, like something's not right with you. Like I wouldn't eat my food because I was so weak. I couldn't even chew food, so I wasn't eating. Wasn't getting good. I was having cold sweats, and my mom, like she even like sat me down and had a serious talk before I went back. And she was like, you know, like, you don't look right. Like, you know, I know my son, and, you know, something doesn't feel right.
It's just puberty, Mom. I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm just a late bloomer. Yeah, so I was just like, I was like, oh, you know, like, I'll be fine. So I go back to Vegas. I have to finish my Coca-Cola mural. And then I go to the hospital because my body, hands start locking up. Everything starts, like, shutting down. I could feel myself, like, shutting down, like I'm going out of it. So I go to the hospital. Dude, talk about divine intervention. Like, I go in, they know I collapsed. I almost want to call the hospital and be like, yo, you guys got to send me that footage, because I walk into the emergency room, I collapse. I'm dressed like a cowboy because, you know, I'm a cowboy. I have my luggage with me because I was traveling. I collapse. And then all the nurses
are a migrant.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I look like a straight immigrant, dude. Like, I'm wearing my cowboy boots, my belt. Like, I'm cowboyed out. And then Korean cowboy, you know, like nurses are being mean to me, dude. Like, being horrible to me because they think I'm a junkie. What do you want?
Well, dude, what kind of people did you see around you in the hospital there in Vegas?
Dude, when I was able to come to, I'm like, oh my God. I look around the emergency room and I'm like, these are all like tatted on their face, junkies, prostitutes.
We were joking, it's like the cast of Soft White Underbelly.
Bro, I could have sworn like all of them were there.
You're like, is Mark here somewhere?
Yeah.
Where are you hiding, dude?
Yeah. It was like that. And they're like, you know, what do you want? And they're being mean, though. They're like, what do you want? You need to sleep this off, all this stuff. And then divine intervention, bro. They check my vitals, and they're like, you're perfectly healthy. Like, you're like a normal, strong boy, like strong man. And I'm like, but they're like, but we could tell, like, something's not right with you, because I was hyperventilating, and my face was going numb. Like, I was having a stroke. Like, it was, no, I felt it everywhere, but I felt it more like on one side more than the other. And no, so I was hyperventilating, like, dude, it was like, it was scary, because I remember this part. It was like like, it was like,
oh shit,
it was crazy. Like, just hearing that, like, you're like you can't fake that. Then they all run over, and then I think they even ran my vitals again or something. But they're basically at the end, they're like, everything's fine. We got to just send you home. we could tell something's wrong with you, but we don't have any beds of it. If we want to put you in a bed, and they're like, but we got to just send you home. And I was like, well, give me an IV. Like, I need something. And they're like, legally, like, we can't touch you. We could just let you sleep here. And I was just like, so that's it? And they're like, you just got to go home. But they knew. They're like, we know something's wrong with you, though. So then I go home, and then talking about, near-death experiences and God and everything. Yeah, long story short.
So you go home, you're at a hotel room or Airbnb or?
I was at my homie's house.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a super nice townhome with a pool. It's where I was going to live because I was going to move to Vegas.
Yeah.
I was going to move there for work and be a professor. I wanted to teach at UNLV. So I had like my whole life set. And I was talking to this girl at the time who lived out there. And everything just seemed like all the stars aligned to Vegas.
Yeah. And then they didn't.
And then they didn't, bro. And then I have this crazy, like, near-death experience where it was like 2, 3 in the morning at my homie's house. I'm all alone, though. I'm upstairs all alone. He's in his room or whatever. And I'm dying on the floor, dude, because I was dying. I was in so much pain. And I was eating watermelon because I needed to hydrate. And I knew watermelon was soft enough for my stomach to process. Because I was so weak at the time. And then I'm crawling on the floor, and then out of nowhere, 2 what I call like angels appeared behind me, about 6 feet back. They're glowing gold, translucent figures, like tall, strong human beings.
Men.
They didn't have wings. They look like just normal, buff, tall men. They appear behind me about 6 feet back. And I remember literally being in my head, like, dying. I remember just literally being like, who the fuck are you guys? Like, what are you? But instantly it was like, oh, thank God. Like, I knew them. It was like, oh, thank God you're here. Like, where have you been? Like, I haven't seen you in forever. It was this weird, like
a reunion.
It was like I knew them, but I didn't know them. They're 6 feet back behind me, one on each side. They appeared like this, and they in sync took 3 steps forward, like all in sync, and then like laid down something on the sides of me. And in front of me, I was eating this watermelon. Homie on my left disappears, but homie on my right stays. And he's doing like a Tebow, like an NFL kneel down, because I'm on the floor crawling. And we started speaking telepathically. So when I think about this, a key word was, the first thing was, I looked at him and I was like, you feel like my brother. The key word was feel, because it wasn't, you look like my brother, or it was, you feel like my brother. And then he responded in a calm voice, like a super calm voice. It's because I am your brother. And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And he was like, do you know how your parents are always talking about the kid they lost and how they wish that they would have never lost him? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, tell your parents that they never lost me and that I've always been here, and that the spirit realm and the physical realm have to work in tandem, and that when we wanted to send me back, your brother came along and your sister came along. But with you, Ivan, because I was a preemie, I was like, literally, my mom could tell you, like, the doctors told her, like, this kid's not going to last long. If he does live, he's going to have, like, complications. I was a preemie, I was weak. So it was kind of like, he was telling me, like, there was, like, enough room where we could send half of me back. I was like, none of this it's all blowing my mind. It's not making sense, but it is making sense. And then he's like, don't you ever wonder why Hugo and Vanessa, they always seem like your little brother and your little sister? And literally everyone in my family, like my whole life, has said that. Like, oh, it's like Ivan's the older brother. It's like Ivan's, I'm more responsible.
It's like you're an old soul.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah.
You have a niece like that. It's like, where did you get this personality? Like you're of like a breed of people that just doesn't seem to exist anymore. You know,
It's so weird.
in the best way, not in a
Yeah.
bad way at all, but like
No, for sure.
in a really beautiful way. You know, very unique.
No, for sure. So then, yeah, I was like, yeah, you know, people do say that. I have always wondered that. And it was weird to me, too. I was like, how did you know that? And we're speaking telepathically. And he's like, it's because they are your little brother and your little sister. And then I think there, he kind of vanished. Because after that, dude, this whole dehydration thing, like, it even messed with my memory. Like, my memory's a little foggy, but I remember that moment. After that conversation, it was pretty much, he disappeared. I think the message was, like, for me to communicate to my parents that he was, like, alive and okay, and he was, like, tall, buff, fit. So that's what's weird, though, too, because I have, you know, a Christian background. I didn't see, I mean, you know, I'm going to just say it, it's just my truth. I didn't see Jesus. I didn't see, like, a cross. I didn't see, like, a fish. What was interesting to me was that these angels looked Egyptian. Like, gold bands, gold bracelets, tall fit, shirtless. They were wearing, like, white skirts with gold trim. And I just remember, like, now when I think back on it, that was a month ago now. I'm like, just how interesting, like, huh? You know, I just nerd out on all, like, spiritual stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was raised super Christian. I didn't see anything, but I saw Egyptians. And Egyptians, I always felt like ancient knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Christians, not to dog on any Christians out there, because I was raised, you know, in that family, and I still go to Christian church, but I don't think that we got it all figured out. I think we probably got it more wrong than we got it figured out.
Dude,
you know?
I agree.
And
I
yeah,
agree.
and religion and spirituality and stuff has like been so just tainted by human beings, you know, to where I don't even know what that noise is.
Oh, it's the GoPro.
Oh, GoPro, whatever. We don't need that one.
That's fine.
So what would you take away from that?
So that and that's what's something I've been trying to figure out. I think my takeaway is that because I talked to a few people that are like in spirituality and that study near-death experiences and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the dudes I was talking to, he's like, dang, you know, like a lot of people try to like fake stuff and everything. He was like, but listening to your story, he's like, you have like a lot of elements of like a true NDE, near-death experience. And he told me, you know, a lot of people don't figure out what the message was or what it is until like 10 years later. So I'm still trying to figure it out. What I could take away right now in the short run is that I think God or them, they used me as a vessel to communicate to my parents.
And maybe even more, because what you said you took away from there is that like the spirit realm and the physical realm need to like intermingle and work together in unity.
Yeah.
And you know, maybe that's a message to the world, you know, or whoever. I mean, all 5 of my viewers at least.
No, and that's what that's what I think too. Is that like just my story because
You should do a mural about it.
Dude, dang, I never thought about that. I actually haven't thought about that.
It'd be sick.
Because I still have them in my head. Like, I know.
You should paint them.
I kind of want to. They look like ghosts, translucent, but glowing like a warm gold color. A warm gold color. Because, yeah, the takeaway so far, what I could think of is like, man, what you said was dope, though. Is I think that moment was meant to bring my parents peace, because their whole lives my dad will bring it up, like my mom and dad will bring that up like every 5 years, and when they do bring it up, like we all know, my siblings, like we know it's a touchy subject.
Yeah, hell yeah, losing a baby's terrible, dude. I've been there. It's a hard thing, and you just always kind of wonder. I mean, for us, it was like, it was not the time in our life. It was almost like a blessing that we had that miscarriage, because we were young, bro. This was 15 years ago, and I was like running amok, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
I wasn't. And then when I had my kids now, like, dude, I had gone down a dark place after my kids were born from just the PTSD and shit coming back from stuff from my childhood. And had that happen 15 years ago when I was like heavy into my alcohol and doing all kinds of hood rat shit, like I don't think I had the mindset and the drive to make it through that. What I just made through, you know, a few years ago.
Yeah, because you wouldn't be the father that you are now.
Yeah. And when your parents, when that happened with them, like, what was up?
I mean, you know, this is like in the 80s. My mom was 17 at most.
Yeah.
Maybe 18. I actually don't know when it happened.
We'll just say 18.
Yeah.
We don't know what the
what the viewers' perspectives.
I'm trying to think of that word, but anyways.
So yeah, even I'm trying to figure out like what it was, that whole experience, because I feel like when God talks to you in that way, in a deep way like that, I mean, dude, it was a life-changing experience. Like,
yeah.
I knew from that, I mean, I've already had a few checkpoints in my life where I'm like, I know the difference of right and wrong, and I want to do right with my life. I'm not going to go back to that life. This was another one that just happened now, like a month ago, where I was like, dang, you know, I feel like I was meant to bring peace to my parents. I also brought some healing to my brother because I told him this story. I haven't told my sister just because we have some family drama going on.
Of course.
Families are families.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly, I just want my message to get out to the world. I feel like people need to hear that. You know, it's because it has the element of truth. You know, people lie and make up stuff all the time for content.
Dude, all the time.
And
then some people spit their truth, and it's so fucking disgusting and vile and just wrong and degrading to women and all this shit. And they're getting millions of views, bro. I'm like, that's how sad and twisted our world is, to where, like, that's kind of why I wanted to do this, because, like, I feel like I'm a real one, you're a real one. Like, we come from a place of you know, statistically, like, I shouldn't be here, you know? Like, sitting here, you know, married with kids and successful and, you know, like, where I should be is where my brother is, you know, sitting in a fucking jar on my desk in a pile of ashes. Because that's, you know, that's what the world says, you know? But we show this realness out there, and how, like, you know, I still got a little thug in me. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But my life now is like way more of sustenance than it ever would have been had I kept doing the rah hood rat stuff, you know?
No, for sure. And same here. Statistically, I'm not supposed to have 4 degrees, a property, a business, travel the world. I've been to like 17 countries. Dude. And now I'm a college professor. Like, it's
crazy,
like
Professor Preciado.
Dude, yeah.
That's what's up, bro.
All blasted.
I'm so proud of you, man. I'm so proud of you. 10 years ago meeting you, you were like, dude. I remember the first time I seen you skate, I was like blown away.
Oh, really?
When we donated that van to that youth program in Hemet.
Oh, yeah.
And we blasted up my van and gave it to them.
Yeah.
And they had that skate rail there, and you were just getting it on that flat bar.
Oh, dude. And I was like, rusty. It wasn't even a proper flat bar. I was like, this need, like, I could get it so much, like.
Can you still get down?
Oh, I could. Yeah.
We'll go hit the park maybe tomorrow or something.
That'd be fun.
They're getting ready to tear our skate park up. And redo it,
Oh, that's tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. When I first met you, you came up to my ranch and we shot up the car and everything, right? Or
yeah, that's when I gave Ivan or Cameron's. My boy is like, I don't want to call him I don't even know. I don't know. He's just not into guns. Like he's from San Francisco, so. He's from like the hood of San Francisco, so he's seen a lot of gun violence, and I was unaware of all of this. And him seeing people get shot and certain things.
Oh, yeah.
And I fucking gave his kid,
his 10-year-old son,
a shotgun for his birthday.
Yeah.
And without checking with Dad, you know? Yeah. And I was like, he's like, yo, Paul, like, what up, dude? You can't just be giving kids guns,
Yeah,
bro.
I remember.
But then he's like, he's like, thank you, because it got him, it kind of broke down. It was just a single shot.
I remember that.
It wasn't like nothing crazy. It was a very good first gun. A single shot, break barrel. Like, you're not going to, like, you ain't shooting up a school with that thing, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to really, it's a dangerous weapon still, but it was like,
sure.
for a first gun, like, but I should have consulted with my friend first. But it kind of got him feeling more comfortable, so then he went and bought a handgun, he went and bought a pistol, but still. Yeah, that is when I met you. I think he was it
Silas
13 or something like that. It was when we turned a teenager, 13.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like a rite of passage. So we bought like this hoopty car.
Yeah.
Remember we went and picked up the car?
Yeah.
And drove it back up to your house and then like busted all the windows out of it and then rallied it.
Yeah.
And then just shot the shit out of it.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
It was fun. Actually, I think the video is still on Cameron's YouTube channel. We'll put a link.
Yeah, we'll put a link. Is that how we do that?
Yeah.
Click the link?
That's all you do. In post, I'll do it.
Yeah. I love it. So what's your next move now?
So now my next moves are several things. From here, it went out again.
Did it?
Yeah. My next moves now are finish my current MFA program. I'm going to start teaching. I'm already in, so start teaching at the college. I want to go for my doctorates. Don't know what in yet, so don't ask me. I don't know. I know I want to do something crazy, like how to use like the powers of the universe for like an artistic career. I don't know. It's something crazy. Like I want to come up with like, because like the law of attraction, the law of polarity, and there's like universal laws that like you just can't break.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how do you use that to propel an artist forward? Like that's what I want my doctors to bring. It'll be something like that. Or that's just what right now what I'm thinking. I want to buy my second investment property, and then maybe after I finish my MFA, get a doctorate. Buy my second income property. Then I'll probably get like my own house, and then I want to find a chick, like that's really my next big moves for like the next 3-4 years.
Just not a student.
Yeah.
You gotta keep it G, man. You're a leader now. You know what I mean? Not that you haven't been before, but now you're stepping into a role like where you're leading young people. And our college system, bro, like, dude, you're going to be around some straight kooks, dude. The teachers you're going to be surrounded by, like, they don't have the values you have. They don't have the interest in humanity that you have. They're about pushing this weird, woke-ass shit. And you're going to be a light. You're going to be different, like, and I think it's amazing. I think it's awesome, dude. I'm so proud of you for that.
Thank you, man.
That's right. Keep shining. Don't let these fools like sway you from who you are.
No,
stay true.
That's what do 100%, man. It's so crazy. Yeah, like I've already like I've heard. You would think like college professors, everyone wants, it's a public good, the best. But it's weird. Everyone has an ego. I hear some professors, they do it just to build their monument up. Like look what I've done and all this stuff, but I'm truly like for the people. Like I'm there for those kids. Like I'm the type of like professor that would be like, we'll do class, but hey, if I feel like I can't reach out to a kid, like yo man, like let's sit down, like let's talk. Like, And what I've been through, it's like, what do you got? You could throw anything at me, bro. Like it's nothing new to me. Nothing new under the sun.
Be careful with that one, dude. I've had my socks blown off lately, where like I thought I could handle everything, and I can. It's just tough, but you think you've been through some hard shit, and then someone hits you with a truth bomb, where you're like, wow,
damn.
Like I never could have imagined anything like that happened to me. So. Be careful, dude. There's people out there who you would never imagine are as hurt as they are,
No, that's true.
That doesn't mean you can't handle it.
No.
You know what I mean? But it's just like, I thought nothing could shock me, and then I'm like,
holy shit.
whoa. You know what I mean? Like, there's some evil out there.
Actually, it's good to hear you say that, because actually that's very true. And you like to have like that reality check. Like, yeah, because I have been through a lot, but someone out there always has it worse.
Oh, for sure. Well, we can end on this. I like Mike Epps.
Yeah.
I saw this stand up and I can't find it anymore. I've like looked for it on YouTube, but he's talking about God being sick of everybody's prayers, all their bullshit ass prayers,
Funny.
praying for the Chiefs to win, praying for the new
God.
car, praying for this new chick to hit me up,
Yeah.
praying for this raise or whatever, and he says he's so sick of everybody's bullshit prayers that he tells everybody to put their problems down. Everybody put their problems down, right? You ain't got no more problems. You're problem free. Now go pick up a problem, but you can't pick up your own. You got to pick up someone else's.
Oh, dang.
Now all of a sudden your problems don't seem so fucking bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is not me, that's Mike Epps, but it was so powerful because you always, no matter what, we live in this life of comparison.
Yeah.
Either it's healthy comparison,
yeah,
or it's like this negative, like toxic comparison.
Right.
And there's a fine line of the two. Yeah. And I think when you realize that like other people's problems are, way bigger than ours a lot of the times, like that gal in the liquor store, or, like you just assume she's strung out. Mm-hmm. But she's epileptic,
Yeah.
Like that's a humbling moment for a man to like
Dude.
to step back and like not suck it up like, oh, I thought she was all strung out. Fuck, I'm just gonna eat it up. No, you took a moment to talk with her, and that's what cuts you, like from a different cloth than the rest of these people you're gonna be surrounded by.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Dude, this was so dope, man.
Was it?
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, dude, thank you for coming, man. You want to leave these guys with a plug, like how to find you?
Yeah. So, I'm at The Walking Giant on all major social media platforms. You catch me there. Mainly what my work is going to focus on moving forward is augmented reality, virtual reality, AI technology, and design thinking strategies. So follow me if you want to stay up on all that. And also I just paint, cool stuff. Draw and paint cool stuff.
Yeah. All right, doggy.
Dude.
That's a wrap?
Yeah, I think so.
Did I even hit record?
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half.